with Zach Robinson. I'm Steve Palazzolo. Today discussing potential first-round quarterbacks in the 2019 NFL Draft. And it's all brought to you by Eckrich, the official smoked sausage of the college football playoff. Zach, we just put together the first PFF draft board of the year. It's still early, only 3 weeks into the college football season, but we had 3 quarterbacks that we identified, put them into our top 32 and said, as of right now, first-round potential quarterbacks. It's Justin Herbert from Oregon, Will Greer from West Virginia, and Dwayne Haskins from Ohio State. The surprise name, only 3 starts this season, 1 start last year, or half of game last year, and he's already made it in there. Let's discuss these guys. Let's start with Herbert from Oregon, the top guy on our list. Yeah,
we highlighted this guy early on in the season, named him our top guy, and we've seen him play really well. We saw him last week struggle a little bit, but there's some projection just because we're looking at just his pure talent at this point. We want to see him play a full season. We want to see him in some of these tougher games. He's got a Stanford game coming up this week. That'll be a big-time game for him. He hasn't played in some of these. But in terms of a talent standpoint, what he can do with his arm, athleticism, he fits the bill as a first-round quarterback.
I think when you look at Herbert, too, I mean, look, none of these guys I don't think are as close to what we had last year, at least at this point. We loved Baker Mayfield, loved Sam Darnold, had enough faith in guys like Josh Rosen or even Lamar Jackson at the back end of the first round. I do think last year's first-round class was a little bit cleaner than what we're dealing with this year. But Herbert is, like you said, a little bit of a projection. What we've seen, though, is big-time throws down the field, the zip and velocity that he has, his high-end play, very, very good. Some of the easy stuff, though, against San Jose State wasn't great. Yeah. It brought a little bit of doubt into our minds after watching it. So, again, it's going to come down to consistency and what he does, I think, in the meat and the heart of the Pac-12 play this year.
Yeah, absolutely. The just kind of down-to-down consistency is what you're looking for, because you watch some of his just highlight explosive plays, ability to throw the ball down the seams. It's incredible. He's got such easy velocity to every part of the field. So, you want to see some of those things happen when the pocket gets a little bit tighter, see him continue to make throws and work through progressions, work accuracy like we kind of mentioned at the beginning of the season.
So you have a really nice breakdown of Herbert. It's on the YouTube channel. Be sure to go check that out. It really breaks down his strengths and what really was highlighted to us in the first year and a half that he played over at Oregon. Let's go to Will Greer, West Virginia. Currently, he's only played 2 games, but he's our highest-graded passer this season. Last year had a breakout year at West Virginia, just a fantastic downfield passer. And again, I think when we're looking at these guys, it's about what projects to the NFL. Herbert's the prototype with the size and athleticism. Greer's not, but as far as the throws that he can make, I think he's got all the NFL skills to translate to the next level.
Yeah, I think so. And you hate to throw player comparisons, but the Baker Mayfield comparison where you're looking for everything that he can't do, but he just keeps doing everything so well over and over. I feels like that with Will Greer a little bit, where you're looking for things that he struggles with, and he's just so solid across the board. Very clean game. You mentioned the downfield passing, aggressive with all that stuff, and very accurate. And then he's just got so much poise in the pocket. We see him hang in the pocket, work through reads, and deliver accurately. So, Herbert's the top guy, but Will Greer is a very, very close second. Like you said, I like how you said these guys aren't surefire, top 10 guys down the line, but could be very good starters, and Will Greer just keeps playing well over and over, and you're kind of just looking for weaknesses that just aren't really there.
Yeah, I think we've found in the few years that we've had our grades translate to the NFL that production does matter. So watching Will Greer make throw after throw for a year plus does matter, and the rest of the season matters for these guys. That's why it's early and there can be movement on the draft board.
Man, I'm stuffed.
Me too. Man, I think I could have taken you back in the day.
Taking me? Taking me where? What are you, 140?
Maybe. I had some game.
You're talking about flag football, right?
Nope. Paper. I'd whip your tail in paper football.
You carry around a paper football?
Every day. I don't leave home without it.
Kick it off, big boy.
You're on.
Eckrich. Get Saturday done right.
When it comes to Greer, I thought he made great strides from just his redshirt freshman year at Florida to last year at West Virginia. Anything that he needs to necessarily clean up, because he's off to a great start at West Virginia. What are we looking for that next step for him?
Yeah, I think some of the decision-making under pressure, he has such an aggressive mindset that he wants to take shots over and over that sometimes he gets under duress and he might be taking a shot and it's just not there. He needs to check it down, live to play another down. Some of that stuff can be cleaned up, but you definitely don't want to take away that aggressiveness he plays with.
All right, the third quarterback that we mentioned, and then we'll talk about one that just missed it, but it's Dwayne Haskins from Ohio State. Are we jumping the gun here? He's got 3 starts under his belt. And I went to you and I said, I think I want to put him in the first round. I think he's there. The grade's really good. And again, it's a lot of our projections going to come down to production and what we see on the field. But I do think, even just in the limited time we've seen him, from the zip, the control in the pocket, the accuracy, the touch, I mean, there's a lot there to like with Haskins.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw, in the limited snaps last year, it was like, hey, this guy looks like a guy that could do it, and he's just lived up to the billing from the very first snap he took early on in the season. But you mentioned it, good, just plays with overall good control, command. Like, his technique is for being such a young guy, plays very just with great technique in the pocket. And he's a great anticipatory passer. He just knows where to go with the football, plays within the offense, and has delivered accurate. He's been one of the most accurate quarterbacks we've seen so far. So we've got to see him in kind of a tight pocket game. I think we mentioned before we came on that he hasn't had to play under pressure very much. So
just 15 snaps so far. 15 out of 97 dropbacks he's been under pressure. That's not a lot at all. And look, our guys have told us how important, clean pockets, to, how that's stable and that's going to translate. But you do need to see how a guy handles pressure and make sure he's not a disaster. We haven't seen Haskins really challenged in the pocket just yet.
Yeah, so that's going to be the big tell. They get into some of those tougher Big Ten games, Penn State, Michigan, those type of games. So we'll see how he handles those, but plays with great poise, so you would think that he's going to be fine in those situations.
It's still early, but Haskins is on our radar. By the way, Sam tells us we want to save the comparison. We want to bring back the comparison. It's okay to say Weill, Greer, and Baker Mayfield. If you're comparing one specific thing, that's allowed. But we're not saying that Weill Greer is Baker Mayfield, because he's the highest graded guy that we had, for 2 straight years. He's not Baker Mayfield, but there are some comparisons there. So there you have it. A few first-round quarterbacks on our radar on the PFF draft board. Be sure to check out the entire draft board right here on our YouTube channel. And that'll do it for us today. It's all been brought to you by Eckrich, the official smoked sausage of the college football playoff. Don't forget to pick up Eckrich smoked sausage at your local grocery store for this week's tailgate or homegate party. And make sure to visit EckrichFootball.com for great game day recipes and to enter their season-long $1 Million Challenge.